What up, ladies and gents?
Hey, we're live.
Normal?
Normal.
What's normal?
I don't know what that is.
Here's a new normal.
Shut up and sit down.
Business Bros is your show, where small business professionals just like you come to tell their stories. This podcast is for those who understand the number one rule in business, which is to be of service to others. Learn how today's professionals generate leads, what's working on social media, what's hot and what's not, straight from the mouths of those who are out there doing the real work. And now let's welcome your hosts, Hernan Cias, the real estate bro with eXp Realty, the cloud-based brokerage where top producers reign, and James Cias, the insurance bro with Pipeline Insurance, making sure you are covered because there's a lot riding out there. And now here are the Business Bros.
What up, ladies and gents? Welcome to another episode of
Business
Bros.
Bros. We still doing that? Okay, well, it's just you and me, I guess. That's cool. Whatever.
We can have some fun.
Yeah.
Should I do that one or no? With a little bit of the widescreen.
We're still trying to figure out exactly what our new normal is going to be.
Everything is changing, dude. Everything is changing. All right, so check it out. I am going to invite everybody, and I'll post it here. Ask your questions. Boom. Ask your questions. So we're going to drop this right here on the Facebook thing right here. There you go. Ask your questions. We want to know what's going on with you guys. We're going to be talking today about human connection. What the heck is this new normal? What does normal look like going forward? But because we had to have a last minute scheduled guest reschedule, we always open these up to Q&A. So if you guys are hopping on, ask your questions. Let us know what's on your mind. We'll interrupt our conversation to get these questions answered because I like that. And James,
he meant to write, ask your questions.
Ask you questions. Yeah, that's what I meant. Let's see. Ask
us questions. Ask us questions. How about that?
Ask us questions.
There you go.
Ask
the bros. Hashtag ask the bros. That's what we used to.
I should have done it like that.
Yeah, man. Come on, man. See,
sorry,
why
you use normally the guy typing away.
I know. It's fun.
I teach math, not English, so that's what's happening there.
It's a thing.
All right, so new normal. A bunch of crazy stuff. We got COVID going on. Everything's locked away. I asked a question on Facebook not too long ago, like, what do you miss most about our previous life? About pre-COVID, and we get all kinds of stuff. One of the ones that kind of got to me was hugs. Like, I actually like giving hugs. Like, I feel like I'm a good hugger. I don't get to do that. Like no more hugs. It's something as simple as, what about a handshake? Like, you meet somebody, and you're like, hey man, what's up? Or like a high five, just shake the hand. Like, all these things are gone. You even feel awkward when you're like at Walmart, or at least me anyways, when I'm at Walmart, and I accidentally bump into somebody, or like a sneeze, and everybody's like, oh man, that guy sneezed. Like, it's totally like a weird situation for me. And I don't know about you, Ham, but I keep going back to this, and to me, it feels very much like we're giving away a lot of our freedoms for security, and that scares me.
Benjamin Franklin,
dude. To me, it's scary. Like,
it is.
Don't get me wrong, dude. The whole idea of you could die, you can get a disease, or a virus, that sort of stuff. It is scary, of course it is. But at some point, we kind of got to be able to move through these things and realize that, you might be able to kick us, but you can't keep us down.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious, honestly. I want to do a little bit of research on, I guess, how the rest of the world is reacting, or if this is a strictly American idea, right? That we're being restricted from our freedoms. Because, I totally get it. And I 100% agree. There are people that are struggling right now. There are people out there that are really hurting from all of this financially and mentally. And some, even the safety of their home isn't necessarily a safe place, right? Domestic violence has gone up a lot. But the question is, is this really being blown out of proportion? That's the
biggest
question. That's the question, right? Is this a media frenzy? Is this something that's being created, or is it something more real? My question is, what is the rest of the world doing? Or are we noticing what the rest of the world is doing? So many places shut down. Italy still hasn't opened up. What are other places doing?
And that's kind of my point. Like, how long is this supposedly us listening to or being supported by the government going to last? Like, for us in our school district, the kids are supposed to go back in July, towards the end of July. Dude, what happens if there's no the stay-at-home order is not lifted? Does that mean the kids don't have to go back to school? You know what I mean? Like, Adrian, there's no reliable news sources you guys use, dude.
Well, no,
what are?
Dude,
honestly, I don't pay attention to news broadcasts because every time I turn it on, for example, when I'm on Facebook, Twitter, whatever, and I see a live feed and there's a protest going on, right?
Mhm.
I'm watching the live feed and the live protest, and I'm seeing people comment, and they're like, hey, we're out here tired of being at home or whatever it is, or like, hey,
Sure.
I see you, whoever it is. None of the stuff that you see when it's a normal person's broadcast has anything to do with this is a political a person, or they're on this side of the political aspect or that side of the political aspect. I like to deal with people. I like to feel what people are feeling and gauge my stuff from their commentary, because anytime I turn on a news channel, all of a sudden it's, well, those Trump people are out there. And they'll take a snippet of some people, and I'm sure there are Trump supporters out there. Or you listen to the other channel, and it's the other side is out there. And like, why do we have to put that? I think it's just more like things where people are tired of being cooped up inside.
Yeah.
They have nothing else to do inside. They want to be able to go outside freely. And yeah, we'll stay 6 feet apart. Yeah, we'll wear a mask. Yeah, we'll do that. But don't close my park down. Right?
But they're not. That's the thing about it. When this thing first broke out, the very first weekend, I remember the very first weekend when we got the call from Governor Newsom. He's like, yeah, hey, everybody stay at home, chill out, don't do anything, right? The whole stay at home order. That weekend, I went for a walk through Balboa Park. I live a couple blocks away. That's my backyard. Right. So I go through through Balboa Park, and there's a ton of people. And I mean, this is before before we realized how bad it was going to get, quote unquote. But at that point, there was just a ton of people out, even though everybody had already been told, stay home, don't go out unless you need to, blah, blah, blah. Everybody was out, and nobody cared about wearing masks at that time. It wasn't there yet. So now if they open things up, what were the beaches looking like this weekend?
Okay.
We had a heat wave, right? And we're already in the thick of it. And
I'll give you that. Now here's my argument to the other side is, statistically, I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at the world numbers of people who get sick and people who get infected and people die. You still have a much greater chance of getting in a car accident on your way to work.
Oh yeah.
Than you do of contracting this thing and much less dying from it.
So let's stop driving, right?
So that's what I'm saying, right? So if that's your fear to protect the public, then stop driving. My biggest concern is how easy it is to manipulate these things. Now, look, I've leaned more towards the Republican side ever since we were young. I don't know, whatever it is, right? Socially, I think I'm more blue, but fiscally, I think I'm more red. So anyways, just throwing that out up front. There are many people who say things like Trump is like the next Hitler, right? So if you believe that, why aren't you looking at things historically? Like, if we look at this whole pandemic, right? The Nazis didn't take over countries at the beginning hostily. The very first country they took over was Austria-Hungary, right? And they didn't roll in with tanks and like destroy the place. People accepted it. People accepted him to come in. They wanted that support, that whatever he was doing to Germany to support, that particular country. And I feel like that's the type of thing that's happening right now, is that people are so scared. They're freely giving away their rights and their freedoms under the disguise of security. And that's what's scary, because once you take it away little by little, then it's like, well, all of a sudden you have to be able to, I lost James. All of a sudden we have to be able to justify. Oop, there he is. He's back. Lost you there for a second.
Yeah, once you take it away little by little.
Yeah. So once you take it away, right, little by little, we're freely giving some things up. And when that becomes the new normal, where we've given away what we believe in, we've given away our ability to go out by a certain time, we've given away our ability to go out to a certain park or to go to restaurants at a certain time. As they give things back, they're going to give things back in small sections. Maybe they're like, okay, we're opening restaurants, but only so many during this time. Oh, and if you're over this age, or maybe if you weigh this much, or if whatever it is, like all of a sudden it's a lot of regulation that happens afterwards. Right. And that sort of stuff is what scares me. If you believe that Trump is the next Hitler, do you think they're going to take power one little piece at a time and pull it from you? Or they're going to try to set up a way where you're giving it away to them freely?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what scares me about this whole pandemic thing, is we are so scared about any little thing that happens that will throw masks on everybody. That looks already conspicuous. That looks scary. I don't trust people that walk around with masks all the time, even if they're trying to be safe for themselves. That's just not, it's disconcerting to me. Like, it's not normal.
It's right.
Is that the new normal? You know what I mean? Like,
it might be. How long is it going to last? And here's another even scarier thing about it. What's coming up this year, or what's supposed to be coming up this year?
What do you mean?
In November.
The election?
Yeah.
And
sorry, can't have an election. Everybody has to stay home.
Dude, I'm telling you, like, and we're just giving things away here. That's the scariest part about what's going on. When you talk about human connection, here's the other thing. I was having this discussion with Rosa earlier today. You're taking away people's ability to congregate, right? So like Fugati here is saying, it's a strict stay at home. There's no more gathering to open beaches. That's like drastic. There's no more gatherings, right? You're taking away people's human ability to gather.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, yeah, but you get to go on Zooms and you get to go on Google Meets and you're still meeting with people. And my thing is, well, but who controls that? Like, if I put out this broadcast and I have a great opinion, but it's contrary to whatever belief, can't the powers that be, can't people who control this sort of stuff kind of limit who my audience is? We're already doing it. They already do it. They do it for a monetary purpose. They do it. They limit your exposure on Facebook, on Instagram, so that you have more of a paid exposure to get to the audience that you're creating. That's already built in. And if that's the only place that we have to talk to each other because we can't congregate in public, now we're limiting what we're able to see and what we're able to talk about, and still disguise it under free speech. That's what, that sort of stuff is scary to me. Like, you're literally handing it away because you're scared. That's not cool.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'm not as, I believe most people are good, right? You love to say that. You love to say that. Believe most people are good. And I don't necessarily think that there's a, that is the agenda behind all this. That's just my belief.
I'm with you, dude. I believe most people are good. I do say that all the time. People, yes, but people are also sheeple, right? People are also moobas, and we follow the herd. We have, herd mentality, right? If everybody's running away from something, if everybody's wearing a mask, I got to wear a mask too. I don't like wearing a mask. Prior to National City setting the ordinance of wearing the mask,
you're like, nope,
I didn't wear the mask. I would go to the Walmart. I would keep my 6 feet of social distancing because that's what we're supposed to do, right? They wouldn't. It got to the point where they were like, "Oh, you can't bring in your own bags." I'm like, "Well, you freaking made me buy these bags. Like, I can't use them." Okay, fine, whatever. I'll just,
you got to put everything in your cart and then bag
load them in your
car.
I understand that. Now I can't get into Walmart without wearing a mask, right? That to me, honestly, dude, that mask is like that. It's like that Star of David or that Scarlet Letter, right? Like it's now become a symbol of you've conformed. You're allowed to be part of this group who shops at
Mhm.
this store, who goes to these venues or whatever it is. Like without this, you're not allowed to do that. That's a restriction,
It is.
right? That's a restriction. That's not a self-imposed restriction. That's a government restriction, which comes to what's next, right? What if and again, it just doesn't make any sense numerically,
Government restrictions, right? These are government restrictions. And I'm playing devil's advocate here, okay? So government restrictions. So when let's see, when it was the Wild Wild West, and let's think of Tombstone, right? What
I'm your
did
Huckleberry.
the Earp brothers do when they took over Tombstone? When it
They
came
put
to the
the
firearms,
ordinance in, right?
they put the ordinance in, right?
Mhm.
Nobody's saying you can't own a gun. Nobody's saying you can't carry a gun. They're
All I'm
just
is
saying
you can't carry a gun in town.
exactly, right? So now let's take it to cars, right? Since cars are causing so much death, right? You're more likely to die from a car accident. Okay. So what did they do? They put ordinance, they put rules. They said, don't cross the double yellow line, stop at this sign, don't stop at that sign, green gas, go. Okay. Ordinance, rules. So now we're seeing something that is unprecedented, right? Or not necessarily unprecedented, but the death rate is higher than a lot of other sicknesses and much easier to contract. So it became a big issue really, really quickly because a lot more people were dying from it than were dying from the regular flu. The regular flu is less than 1%. This thing in the US is at 5%, and worldwide is at almost 7%. It's it's 66.6 basically.
But still, the people who have
Or
contracted
6.66.
it is a very small percentage compared to the
Compared to the entire
population.
world.
I mean,
Yep.
it's still relatively small.
It's still
Right?
relatively small, and
If you and here's the thing about math, which is also super fancy, by the way. If I tell you 1 in 4 people are going to catch it, right?
Mhm.
That sounds devastating. Of course it does. If I tell you, I don't know, 100 out of, I don't know, when we start converting numbers to percentages,
Uh-huh.
that gets scary because 5%, well, 5% of what?
Well, right now it's
5% of the sample.
5%, and what are we at? I think we're over like 3 million total cases.
Worldwide.
So
Out
worldwide,
of
what is that?
7.8 billion people on the planet. Then that's what I'm saying. The number is
It's
just
not a
so
lot.
small. It's
Ve-
not a lot. And
very
we're giving
small.
up. And that's the thing is I'm not trying to say that if you lost someone to COVID or like that's not it's not to desensitize the fact that people have passed away. People pass away all the time, right?
Mhm.
All I'm saying is the world doesn't need to shut down if it's not that severe. I feel
You
like
say
this
that,
is more
but
of a
the
power play.
the world did shut down. Like this isn't a strictly US thing.
No, I know that. I know that. And there's some places that are under martial law. Like crazy stuff going
Mhm.
on in other countries around the world. We can't do that sort of stuff here. There's no way that would fly. That's why
No.
we have guns in our homes as a
Right.
civil population, right? There's no way that'll fly. So what do? I mean, and I'm playing the devil's advocate here for sure. I mean, do I know for sure this is some sort of huge conspiracy? No. All I know is when we give up our freedoms for security, I have an issue with that.
Mhm.
That's what I know. My gut tells me that's not something you should be doing.
Doesn't feel right. Yeah, no,
Doesn't feel right.
dude, I was saying that from the beginning. Like, wait. So we're not allowed to go out? Like, we're not allowed to congregate? Like, this is literally my First Amendment right, the right to peaceably assemble. Like, you can't take that away from me. But, I guess in the interest of the greater health or something, I don't know, whatever, it's what people are actually worried about is, this thing could spread rapidly and it could be a huge thing. So they're trying to minimize it because the fact is that the country isn't prepared for that kind of, like, if this thing really got out of control the way that like it did in New York, for example, New York is like hospital systems are all shut down and crazy and like overrun, overpopulated. Just everything's wild.
I don't know though. Is it? Or is it what we're
I'm not
hearing
there.
from over here? Exactly, right? I mean,
Mhm.
and that's the thing is if you look at are they the most hit in the US? Yes. But even in the US, the number of cases is still not dramatic. And that's again, dude, is it could it be? I don't know. It might have. And that's always the hindsight,
I
right?
think we're over a million in the US.
The entire US. And I
Yeah.
think there's like 350 million people in the country.
Mhm.
So, you know, do the math,
Is that a
right?
third of a percent?
Yeah, it's a very small percentage, right? And then of the ones that dies, an even smaller percentage of that. So you get what I'm saying? Like statistically, it just doesn't make sense for this type of reaction. And
Mhm.
that's again, I'm going to say it over and over again. It's in my gut, dude. It's in my gut. It says don't give up your freedoms for security. Never do that. We talk
Mhm.
about it in business all the time, right? When you have a 9 to 5 job, the reason why you stick to that job is because it's secure. You
Right.
you know that you're going to get your paycheck at the end of the 2 weeks. That is
Mhm.
security. You are giving up your freedom to wake up when you want, to have your own hours, to do your own thing. You're giving up that freedom for the security of the paycheck, right? And some people are okay with that, and some people are not. But you can't complain in business about the person who gave up their freedom, right, to take on the risk, and then they succeed, and you're still doing your 9 to 5. You wanted security. So if it's in your gut, you're okay giving up the security. I mean, giving up the freedom for your security, then that's your thing, and it's okay across the board if that is what your gut tells you to do. I'm just saying that in this scenario, in the world that we're paying out, people are lacking the human connection. They miss it.
Yeah.
They are looking for it at every angle that they possibly can. So what do they do when they have nothing else to do? When there's no more Netflix, when they can only Zoom and Skype and whatever so much, they're gonna get out and they're gonna go protest and they're gonna want their freedoms back because they're tired of having that security without proof that even it was worth it.
Yep.
Human connection, man.
It's true.
We need
People
it.
are craving it.
So let me ask you this. This is question was asked of me, and I wonder what you would say. If it comes down to we have a vaccine now, and you're able to go back out in public if you get the vaccine, do you take it? That's like an ultimatum, right?
It's
And
pretty
it
much
was
is.
it was asked to me because I'm in the education system.
Somebody's
comes
gonna
down
make
to-
some money.
It always comes down to money.
Yep.
Right. And that's what that again, my gut is telling me you're giving this up. Fine. You're so tired of being inside. Just give me the freaking shot.
Right.
Right.
And what's that gonna do?
I don't know what that's gonna do or what it has in it or what it does. I have no idea.
But you take vaccines now anyway.
I've taken vaccines now for sure.
Yeah,
but I don't get
we
the
all
flu
have.
shot. I don't get the flu shot. I
Same.
haven't gotten a flu shot for years.
Yep, same. Ever
The
since I
very
got out
last
of the
time I got the
Navy.
flu shot, I got sick. I don't know. Is it supposed to work that way? I have no idea. I never went to medical school. But again, dude, it comes down to that's what my gut says. But hey, we miss human connection. So I don't know what's going to happen in the future. I wonder. I hope we have
Pretty
some
sure.
sort of normal type thing. But I kind of figure this is going to be like the war on terror.
I'm
This
just gonna
is
say
a
I'm
new
just gonna
normal.
say it. I'm gonna call it now. If they come up with a vaccine and we're allowed to go back to work and do everything, if we get the vaccine, we're gonna get the vaccine.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we will.
Yeah.
Right? We're sheeple.
We're sheeple.
Yep.
Yep. They're
Yes,
gonna
sir.
tell. They're gonna tell you. They're gonna tell Rosa. They're gonna tell Vanessa. Hey, in order to get back to work, in order to come back to the school, you need to get the vaccine. What are you gonna do?
It's your livelihood. It's your job, right?
That's
You're
it.
going to get the vaccine.
That's it.
See, again, man, doesn't that feel awkward? Doesn't that feel weird? Whether or not you're doing it to keep your job or whatever, it doesn't sit well.
I'm trying to find out who that company is, and throw some stock money at it.
Bill Gates Foundation. Just throwing it out there.
Ah, damn it, nonprofit.
Yeah. Well, no, there's some sort of pharmaceutical behind it.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, come on, man.
I
Come
figure out who
on,
that
man.
is. Follow the
Dude.
money trail.
Always. No, dude. And I don't know. That was something that's been kind of looming on my head, and I just like I have to talk about this, man.
I feel you, man. It's the thing, dude. As soon as they mentioned it, as soon as they were like, yeah, no, you can't go anywhere, I was like, First Amendment rights, like WTF.
Yeah. You know, we'll see what happens going forward. I mean, dude, 2020 is supposed to be the year of clarity. I think we're just one of those weird years now. Like, what's going to happen? The
Yeah.
election's coming around the corner. I want to know what that's going to be like. What is the new normal going to be like? What is tomorrow? Does tomorrow require us to wear masks all the time? Does tomorrow require us to always keep 6 feet of distance? Are we still like going forward? Can I never have a house party or a network event with more than 10 people going forward because of the next strain that comes out? Like, what? It reminds me again, dude. It reminds me of the war on terror, right? Ever since 9/11, there's never been a new normal when it comes to war, when it comes to defining an enemy. Like, none of that ever happened. Prior to that, it was like us versus them, and you could clearly define who them was. Well, what's tomorrow going to look like for our social interactions? What's tomorrow going to look like for going to school? What's tomorrow going to look like for your business, for your restaurants, all those different things? I have no idea. Did you lose your mic? Nod your head if you lost your mic. I figured as much. All right. It is what it is. At least you can still hear me. That's funny. Nod your head if you can hear me. No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. It's done. All right. Well, we're gonna cut today short. Unless anybody's got any questions, drop it in the comment section. So we had a show scheduled. Our guest wasn't able to make it today, but we decided to go on the fly, and we're going to talk about our human connection. Because let's face it, we're all going through it right now. We all miss all of you people. I personally have enjoyed doing a lot of these shows and meeting a lot of people online, and I know a lot of you have been able to make some additional connections that way and still reach out to family, but you miss some of the basic things: the hugs, the kisses, the high fives, the handshakes,
The fires.
Oh, he's back. The fires. Right? Like I planned on doing a Vegas trip over spring break.
Oh,
That was my goal. Like I was gonna do one of the I was gonna use some of my Southwest points, get a hotel like during the week for like $50 for like a couple days, and just go play poker just zone out and play poker. That was what I wanted to do, and COVID hit, and I wasn't able to do that. So what is the new normal gonna look like? I have no idea.
We'll find out. I mean, we're gonna live through it. So, but you know what? Here's my thing. Here's the last thing I'm gonna say. There will be a new normal, and the new normal won't be that much different from the old normal. When it comes right down to it, I honestly don't think so. Like tomorrow, the sun will rise. Right? It's just going to be a lot more of the same. I really don't think. I mean, this thing that we're going through, it's going to last a while. We are going to be stuck at home at least going into next month, right? Into May. Who knows what's going to happen in June? Who knows when they're going to actually, lift all of these stay-at-home orders and allow people to go out. But even when they do, there's going to be people that are going to wait and let everybody else go first and see how it goes, right? And then there's going to be people that are like, F this, I'm tired, I'm ready, right? But eventually, by this time next year, I think everything's going to be pretty much the same as it was before all of this hit.
Back to normal.
Back to normal.
Sort of, kind of.
Except that there's going to be a lot of people who lost businesses, who lost homes, who lost incomes, who lost family members, who lost. There's going to be a lot more. There's going to be a lot of loss.
That's going to be the new normal coming in after this is over. We're about to hit our first month of deferred mortgage payments, We're gonna start
Yep.
to hit our first month of deferred lease payments. You're gonna start to see a lot of downturn in businesses. A lot of people. We've had agents back out today, as a matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Right? People are like, I can't do this. This is not working for me. I got to go do something else. Like that is going to be some of our new normals.
Yeah.
And when those things hit, even when we go back, I don't see many of these businesses going back to their retail positions. A lot of them are going to stay
Yeah, if they can.
virtual if they can, because that's the way it is.
I
The
mean,
new normal.
everything, the entire mall is shut down, basically.
was
Nobody's
pretty
in the mall.
much, it was pretty much empty anyways, except for the restaurants. And you close the restaurants,
Done. So now what? What are those things going to turn into? But like I said, I still think, give it a year, give it 2 years, give it 5 years for, shoot, even in Endgame, they were starting to recover after 5 years.
true. Humans, right? We'll find a way.
We'll find a way.
All right, ladies and gents, enjoy the rest of your Wednesday hump day.
Hump day.
That's all we got for you guys today. Peace.
Bye.
And we're out.
Thank you for listening to the Business Bros Podcast. Are you interested in being on the show? Are you looking to sell your home or have a business that needs insurance? Reach out to the Business Bros via email, businessbros@seeusfirst.com right now, or click on the link in the show notes. Thank you for listening. And remember to subscribe and share the podcast with the business professionals who you think would benefit from the show.